Yeah, so good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing very fine. Yeah, it's yet another lovely Sunday that we're doing good. So we thank the God, the Lord in heaven that has given us this opportunity, the Allah. Yeah, so it's an opportunity, guys, that we are doing well. So today being a Sunday and a day that we take at least a little bit of rest, a little bit. A little bit of rest means that not necessarily that we rest 100%, because if we put ourselves down to sit and relax, there are things that are not going to work well. So beside that is that I'm doing healthy, I'm doing good, and I hope wherever you're watching from, you're doing okay. So from Isibania, today I'm lucky enough to start my video at Isibania because I left, I had some hectic day. The day began a bit with some challenges, but we are tackling them. Because this morning, I remember that I had not applied for the electricity that I'm using at my place. So I had to go through the system, quite a long process, guys. Electricity in Kenya, man, I'm telling you, it's hectic. Because remember, there's a time we did not have electricity. So we had to work on it. So it's supposed to renew it. The application is supposed to be renewed. So yeah, so I had to go through a lot of it by doing it the online application. But man, our system is poor. Very, very, very poor. Yeah, so I went through the cyber cafe. We tried the first one, it didn't work. We tried the second one, the system went jam. I don't know if it was overloaded or what, but we thank God that it will work. So tomorrow being a Monday and the offices are open, I'll visit the offices and we see what we can do. So today being a Sunday, some of you are in church. At the time that I'm speaking is around 1:30 p.m. are in church. I don't know whether we have those countries that are sleeping, but here in especially East Africa, we are awake, fully awake, because our time margin is different. So there's a lot that is supposed to be done, and I said that today part of my video is at Sibania. Where am I exactly? I'm at Baraka's place. So it's an honor, guys. It's an honor, when you just because I like follow-up for myself. I like doing follow-up, when you start. For example, I did a medic course. The first time I did a course in Kenya called clinical medicine, then I shifted to nursing. So in Kenya, there's something we call patient follow-up. So when you have a patient, for example, you are clerking a patient that was had conceived, and the patient was, for example, a lady that was pregnant. So you had to follow up this patient so that until delivery, safe delivery. So you follow this patient, you even do visiting at their home. But no, that does not mean that's what I'm going to do. It's only that yesterday the mom had called me and she requested me that okay, last time I went and fixed their lighting system and the curtains. So apart from that is the big boy who is Julie, has gone to school. So she requested that today she's going to bring her business, the charcoal business. Remember, one of you did her a favor, a good favor, telling you. The person sent her good money for 4 good sacks, 4 big sacks. In fact, it's not 4, it's around 4 3/4 of a sack, according to the money that I received that time. So if she goes there well, she'll get good 4 sacks and 3/4 sack. And I'm telling you, I'll visit her one of these fine days, and I'll show you guys what she brought. So it's going to be an honor, a privilege for her. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing thing for this lady. So she had requested me that I visit them and help the boys to fix, not fixing really, but to place the carpet on the floor. So this is the carpet. Let me show you the carpet we bought. It's a very big carpet. In fact, it is 15. It's a 15-meter carpet. So we saw it worth that we fix it today. So I was supposed to come here very early in the morning, but unfortunately, ungenisaidia kabisa tuweke carpet ndio. So kidogo tu kama dakika 5 hivi. So unfortunately, because I had a hectic day in the morning, so I came a bit when the Juma and the Elijah, they had gone to school. You remember they're in primary school, one is junior secondary school, the other one is in grade 6. So in fact, it's now that Elijah is leaving. So there's one friend of theirs that is around, who lives around. I'll ask him to help me fix it. So guys, before we go to the carpet, sometimes there are things that I usually think about and I don't get answers. You see, I always say that if God decides to choose you, He chooses you. And if God chooses you, nobody can object that. That is 100% true. For example, let me give you a small history of our family. We grew up, my mom, I did one time a video with my mom in the village where she lives. I thank God for her. My grandmom did not get sons. Then my grandmom only gave birth to one child who is a daughter. And we have a culture in Korea that a family must be, a family lineage must be maintained by the sons, because in our culture we don't have inheritance of land here. It's only that now we are being westernized to an extent that now you can even inherit your daughter the property, which is the best part of it. So my grandmom did not get sons, but the co-wife got sons, because my grandfather, whom I'm named after, was a polygamist. He had 2 wives. So apart from that, the other wife to my grandfather bore sons and daughters. My grandmother was only lucky to get 1 child, and the child was a daughter. So according to culture is that this woman was supposed to get sons, because in terms of inheritance, each wife will get the share. So when the daughter is married, who will remain in this family? Because my grandfather died, my grandmother died. Who could be in this land of this household of my grandmother? So the culture allowed these people now to marry. Have you ever heard of a marriage where a woman marries a woman? No. It's not the kind of same-sex marriage you're thinking about. This was typically different. So a woman marrying a woman comes in as the grandfather and my grandmom sat down, agreed, looked for, let me put it in quotes, my mom's husband, in quotes, because I'll explain the reason why that is. So they looked for a guy around, a befitting guy. I can say that he's supposed to be now my father, my biological father. They convinced this guy, they sat down, they agreed that we need a daughter-in-law. So they assumed like they had a son. Now this son was supposed to marry for them. So when they convinced this guy, my supposed father, he was supposed to go look for a girl, marry that girl, bring that girl to my grandfather's house, not particularly to the other co-wife, to my grandmother, in my grandmother's house. And that's how my mom found herself in my grandmother's house. So she was married by another family's man. Let me call my dad. My dad came from another family. So the disadvantage of this marriage is that you are not controlled by any man, because this guy was only supposed to bring my mother to this family. After bringing, it's my mother's choice to decide whether he will live with this man as the husband or he will look for someone else outside. As a lover, guys. That's not what I'm supposed to talk about in terms of family. But I want to explain to you now how it happened. Before I tell you now, when God chooses you, he chooses you completely. So this supposed dad of mine brought my mom. Yeah, they lived for a while as husband and wife, but this man is also allowed. Remember, this man is also allowed. So my supposed father, according to culture, he is allowed now to marry his own wife. Right? Are you getting the point? My supposed father married my mom for my grandmother. Now, who is in charge of this? My mom. It's my grandfather. Okay, this my supposed dad just brought her to this family. Now that's how my mom found herself in where we are living. So when the division of the land was done, my grandmom was given equal share to my other grandmother, because my grandfather had 2 wives. I get that. So because now my grandmother did not have sons, we have what we call segregations and mistreatments, because who could stand for us? So my grandfather was already getting old. In fact, my grandfather died before even I saw him. So there was a lot of mistreatment in that family. In fact, I grew and saw some of the mistreatment from the village. So, you know what? My mom gave me some part of the history, and she says that because a long time ago, before I was born, the major cash crop in our land was tobacco for smoking. That was the major, and the main company was British American Tobacco, Kenya Limited. In short, it was called BAT. That was the major company. It brought tobacco in our land. Then they found that Kuria in particular, they had so many forests. And the land was virgin. I hope you understand what I mean by virgin. It had never been cultivated. Meaning, if you plant your tobacco, what you only need is the seedlings plus the plowing and labor, and you harvest. My friend, you harvest good crops, good tobacco with big leaves. Tobacco, I found tobacco that I'm a full-grown man like me, walks inside tobacco, he's covered. Can you imagine my height? You're covered. This land was very fertile. So BAT came into our land. They targeted the forest, they targeted the fertile land, and they really made profits, billions of shillings, billions from that land. So my mom tells me that because they had a piece of land that they could do cultivation before the subdivision for it to be small, the tobacco was doing well because they were not having a big family for them to do a large scale farming. Do you know the tobacco, the way it was operating is that you plant your tobacco, this household will take its labor, plus the other household takes its labor. When I talk about the labor, it means the children, the parents, they come together. If you are having 5 children here, 2 parents, those are 6. The other they come together because people used to do large plantation. You help them to pluck the leaves. You pluck them from the trees. After plucking, you carry them on your head to the curing house. We used to call them BAT. In fact, the curing house were called the name of the company, BAT. There's a tedious process from there. In fact, tobacco had a very tedious process from the time of the nursery preparation to the harvesting time. I'll tell you why I stopped. I told my mom, no, we cannot grow tobacco. That's not our destiny. So, during the harvesting season, these other families, households, rejected. They used to refuse to come to our land, to our farm. You know what? They used to call our family that we are witch. We are witch. You know the word witch? Witches. Yeah, there's a movie I like watching where they have a guy and I think the girlfriend, they do witch hunting. That's such a movie called something Robbie. Very nice movie. Witch. That was a term. That my grandmom did not bear sons, so he's a witch. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? With the medical field I passed through, there's nothing like that. Nothing. In fact, remember, no one is in a position of fertilizing a woman to give a son by their own desires. No. Men will produce the chromosomes, the Y chromosomes for the son, and the X chromosome for the girls, the daughters. But no one has the power to control those chromosomes. This is just God's work, my friend. This is God's work. You cannot say today, now, man, today I'm prepared fully, I'm going to get a son. Never, never. So I grew, and in fact, there was that primitivity that when a woman gives birth to daughters, she's chased away, she's mistreated. That is nonsense. I call that nonsense. In fact, people need to come to my class. I educate them. I take them through. They're just small hindrances that can make one or to get sons. But if God decides you have sons alone, you'll have sons alone. It does not matter where you look for these sons from, whether you are in the water, whether you are standing, whether you are sitting, where you are. Let's not go to medical field because, medical field students, people like us, we don't fear speaking these things out because what we handle, men, does not give us the time to be shy. Sorry. So there was a lot of mistreatment because these people termed my grandmom as a witch. And in our language, we say that there's a Swahili term that says samaki moja kioza, wote wameoza. What does that mean? When one fish gets spoiled, it's assumed that the entire package of fish, all of them, they are spoiled. So because my grandmom was termed as a witch, we were witches. So my grandmom be the core controller of the medical front. So there was a lot of segregation, man. So my mom, my grandmom, my brothers, and my siblings, they are prepared themselves. They are going to meet these people to help them plucking these leaves. Then they find themselves in the shamba. Maybe an acre, the shamba. After finding themselves, because before division you could plow anywhere. So an acre of land at the time was possible. You find yourself in an acre, just a family. And you pluck those leaves, you carry them to the curing house. That time even the curing house, they did not have, that family that grows from a very humble background. But through that, do you know what made us to survive that? Let me give you a hint, you guys. I always tell people that no matter what you have, no matter what you have acquired, no matter the wealth, So, with that kind of segregation that you meet yourself, you find yourself in the farm, you do all the activity alone. They remember these people, the same people that you have been helping. So when it comes to their turn, you do the same thing to them. You carry your family, your labors, my mom carry herself, my grandmother and the sibling, they go. Then when they go there, what they do is that they overwork themselves there, because in the mind, behind the mind is that they know during that time they will come, this family will come. But the opposite happened. So that's the kind of family that I grew in. Okay, one time my mom says that our elder brother, who is a teacher by now, one time he wanted to go to secondary school. So those time, a poor family is a poor family, an underprivileged family. Underprivileged is underprivileged. There's nothing you can do. So you have no opportunity of, there's some things that you could not acquire. In fact, others dropped out of school because of that. So it reached a time, my mom loved, by the way, one thing about that woman you saw in one of my videos, that she loved education. Okay, how did she come to love education? My grandfather, the polygamous guy I was talking about, fought in the Second World War. So when those colonists came to the village, they picked the strongest men, right? You see, like now, if it was colonial time, and they came in the village, I was one of them, because men, you know, no, no. So they picked them in the village, the grandfather and the other men that were good enough, healthy, energetic, tall, that could shoot. They fought in the Second World War. You know what my grandfather did? So because the colonists, they used to mistreat the blacks. Because my granddad said he used to narrate to the family that, you guys, during those World Wars, Second World War, what we went through for us to be here is not an easy thing for you to handle. So that is when my grandfather hated anything to do with forces. That is policemen, army, air force, navy, anything that deals with guns. No. He said no. You know what he said? No one from his lineage, from him backward. Backward, it means the sons, the daughters, the grandchildren, the grand. We are now grand from us to our children, from our children to their children, from the, you see the chain? He said no one should be recruited in that field. I know I'm speaking to some of you, you are in those fields. I'm not offending you guys. That was my grandfather's wish. Do you know those wishes work? One time, one of my brother, he tried the Kenya Army. He went and ran, man. He ran. You run, You run, because here, you have to run. What if you are in the bush and you don't have any means of transportation, and the enemies have just, you see, you have to run. So he went and ran. He became one of those people that they can't be selected. They were speaking from, long time ago, when I was young, going to these forces, people did not want it. People did not like it. So he went and ran, and he was in a position that they could pick him. But they just said, no, this. Okay, one of my brothers, brown, not this color, brown. You know what they told him? Is that this color is not needed in the forces. Just an excuse. He came back, I'd reached a position of being picked, and you know what, that was a good job. My grandmom told him, no, your dad, your grandfather, said no one in his family should be recruited in army, neither police, neither force, navy, neither air force, no one. So you cannot be picked. That was not an excuse for you to be removed from the line. You qualified, but because your granddad, in fact, he said no one, no matter how hard we try, even if we bribe, you will not be picked. That was the first time. The second time he tried, you know what again? He managed again, but he was not again picked. So when my grandfather fought in those Second World War, he came back. Now because he came back, he said no one should be. Now, that is the part of my grandfather with the Navy, the forces. He said no. So my brother wanted to go to school. And remember, this education that is in our family, my grandfather said, he used to say that, you people, can you work hard in school so that one day you don't wash the white men their feet? Because he said that's what they used to do. They used to carry them. First, they used to make something. I'm telling you, because I did not see him. In fact, he died earlier before I was born. So he said they used to make something that they make us could sit on it, and the white man sit on it, that they used to carry them. So they put it here, the other one stand there, the other one stand behind. The white man is there with a good shade as they're walking through the bushes. Man, he does not step down. So my grandfather believed that this happened because he was educated. The white men were educated. They were knowledgeable. They were wise. Knowledge. He only said education is the key. So he said, you people, can you work hard in school? So that you don't wash others. In fact, he used to say that you don't wash others their feet. In language that we say, so you work hard, you don't. Now, in other words, you don't serve others. So among the families that were picked in this village, in my village, entire village, was ours. You know what made that family be picked by God? One, when there was a lot of segregation and a lot of mistreatment from the entire community, my grandmother and my mom knew the only source of protection we can get is from God. So when the missionaries passed here, they opened some churches, some Pentecostal, some Maranatha missions, some Catholic. My grandmama and my mom, they chose one church that was PEF, Pentecostal Evangelistic, something of Africa. Oh, Pentecostal Evangelistic Fellowship of Africa, PEF. They chose that church and they went and entered. Leave alone nowadays. Nowadays people are doing stuff with church and it's like, God who is watching, man. People go to church for their own missions. See? So my family, my grandmother, my mom, they chose a church because they knew Jesus, only Jesus, God, can be their only source of happiness, can be their only source of protection, can be their redeemer, can be their comforter, can be their protector, can be their giver, can be their everything, man. I'm telling you. That's the secret behind us. So, my grandmom could be abused until... Have you ever seen your parent being abused by even a child? Can you imagine? You know, in African culture, especially the Korean culture, it's bad for me to abuse an elder. In fact, it's an abomination. That is a curse. First of all, that's a curse. Even according to the religious books, the Quran, the Bible, that's a curse. So they could abuse my grandmom, they could abuse my mother, they could abuse us. But man, church. We feared God, we respected God, we obeyed God's commandment, we did as God wants. If it's tithe, we give. If it's offering, we do. If it's blessing the man of God, we do. If it's going to church, not just church going in church seriously. So, God chose us. He protected us. When they called us witch, they called us poor. God called us the chosen. God called us the rich. God called us the favored one. God called us so many sweet names when no one called us those names. You know, sometimes I usually try to imagine how is that possible? But you know, something inside tell me it's God. It's God. Don't joke. God. You know, in the Bible, God chose those people that were neglected. Remember Joseph the carpenter? Okay, for those people who will go to church, remember the story of Joseph. He was just a mere carpenter from Jerusalem. A mere carpenter. Why didn't God choose those big people, the pharaohs, the pirates, those Pilate, those men? We had rich people on land, but he chose. Telling you. Yeah, sorry, someone had called me. So I was talking about when God chooses you. So even in the religious books, it's wrong one to abuse you. So what I was saying is, my family passed through a lot, but we are shining today. You know, we are shining. In fact, we are doing good, very good, because God chose us. No human beings chose us. It's God who chose the family of my mom, my grandmother. And thank God something told them to go to church and to just stick to God. Because, you know, I was talking about the people that God chose in the Bible. Joseph was just picked. He was just a mere carpenter. He did wonders. For those people who believe in Jesus, Jesus passed through a mere carpenter. Mary was just a normal village girl, just like some of you might be watching me. And God decided, you know what? Through you, I'm going to be born. The other people, like David, in the Bible, David was just a boy who, you know, you remember, I don't know whether you have ever read that part of that David. You know, it usually interests me. David. There are two people in the Bible. Okay, there are so many people that God chose in the Bible, but two people majorly, David and Joseph. You see, David was just a very small boy. You know, when Samuel, the prophet, he went to Jesse's family. If I'm not wrong, it's Jesse, the father of David, right? So for those people who know the Bible, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He went to that family. God had told him, go and pick the king of Israel. So when the brothers heard that Samuel was here, he wanted to pick a king, man, the king. You know, God does not look at muscles. God does not look at education. God does not look at the wealth. God looks at the internal. God does not look at the complexion, the beauty, the handsome. No! God looks at how you obey him and respect him. So when the brothers came, oh, it's me, I'm going to be the king, you know. You know, being a king, according to the Bible, is that it was a prestigious thing. We have those countries like in Kenya, not in Kenya, in Africa, like King Mswati, in Africa, where we have kings. We have those countries with the monarch rule, like the England, where we had the late Queen Elizabeth, and there was a king that was crowned just the other day. Those king men, the way they're handled, even presidents are not handled that way. If you read the Bible well, if you read that religious book well, those kings, because if you read the history before, how kings came into God's people, especially the Israelites, they were told of the repercussion of a king and the importance of a king. So if you look at the importance, how the king is treated, it's just like a mini God, you know, like a mini God. So God chose David from the brothers. When each appeared, no, not the one. This one comes, no, this is not the one. This one goes dress well and come as a soldier, no, this is not the one. They got finished. Then Jesus was like, then who? Someone say, there's one. I'm told there's one. The Spirit just tell me that there's one. Yeah, so there's one somewhere. Yeah. Wanokuika kwa siku hii skuli. Wapi? Oh. Sawa. Kwa nimekuja tuweke carpet lakini kama tutaiweka kesho. Tutaweka na mama yako. Tutaweka na mama yako. So guys, I was telling about Samuel said that there's one. Spirit said there's one. Or that one that is looking after animals. Said, bring him. Do you know what? When David came, he was just a very small boy, and God confirmed this is the one. Can you believe being chosen as a king when you're young? It's sweet. In fact, David did not even know how to handle the kingdom, but so he was picked. He went to sing for Saul. You remember the story, blah, 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 till he was a king. What he did. From there, we have Solomon and so forth. A lot of stuff, you know. So, apart from that, we have Joseph. Remember, he was chosen. Yeah, being a dreamer. Yeah, so that guy, Joseph, I loved him because of his principles. You know, we have principles that cannot be shaken. Can you know that we have those people who present themselves well until men we are men, right? We might covet, which is wrong according to the Bible. But do not, Joseph was just picked. So when he was picked by God, and his destiny was to be a ruler in Egypt, where even one time even the brothers who sold him to Egypt could come to buy food, because they lied to the father that the boy had been teared down up by the wild animal. They brought an animal, they killed a sheep, an animal, they sprinkled some blood, then they brought it to the father. You know, the father was dumbfounded, man, because he loved this boy with one hand. He loved him. Okay, he loved his sons the best, but he loved Joseph wholeheartedly. The boy was wise. God has chosen him being a young man. So when he later helped the brother, so there's a video by the way he watched one time where they acted like Joseph with Israel, man. Very nice movie. So when they came, Joseph pretended, but inside he had the love of brothers. But he was big that these brothers, they were big in terms of leadership, that they had to bow down. You remember he told them that they were one day they were harvesting corns and they saw that corn, all of them bent to one heap of corn. That part, it came to be fulfilled there. Another time we saw the sun, what dancing around. Those stories are very sweet when you read them, and you learn a lot from them. So those are examples of people chosen by God. So we were chosen. We were chosen. My family were chosen. That's why we are breathing today. That is why we are alive today. How many people my age have died? How many people the age of my mother have died? How many people the age of my brothers have died? But we are still kicking, we are still breathing, we are still healthy, we are still doing good. It's not because we are nice. No. It's not because we have anything we can offer. No. But because God chose us. So he chose us, he gave us brains, which is a very unique thing in the entire village. Only that now some people, so that is a village, that's a family that has taken people to university, which is a miracle. You know, learning in a prestigious university, then later you join a medical school, then from there, one of the sons in that family is a teacher, a primary school teacher. Yeah, you see that which those people that were hating us in that village, their families have not done that. So all these stories becoming because I was talking about when God chooses you, no one can choose you again. When God chooses you, man, nobody can reject. When God opened the door for you, no one can reject. Nobody can close that door. So I was telling you that that family from that village, we were chosen. We were loved by God. Don't expect any love from me. Don't expect any love from anybody else because our love are not genuine. So I was talking about being chosen. So I told you that I'm at Baraka's place. And sometime I failed to understand how it came because it was just a mere coincidence that we met the boy Baraka. Then from there, one thing followed from there to the other. A total transformation occurred. Now you become part of the family, bonded together. You remember in high school you used to learn about bonds, types of bonds. So this is a covalent bond or a metallic one, strong. So you're bonded because through you, people knew this family. Through you, some things changed in this family. Through you, a lot has just transformed. You see, like the place I'm seated, this is the boys' room. So I just joked because the mother had requested me to come and do 1, 2, 3 again for them because the bigger boy could handle that, assisted by the Juma, has gone to school. So a lot. So they were chosen. You know that things when they look around and they don't believe. Like the boys, I'm sure they never knew that one day they'll be having a seat like the one I'm seated on, reading on their own table. So they were chosen. There's a day I did a video at Mama Fred's place. She was chosen. In that village, she was chosen. At Nyabohanse, Mama Felista, and those people who maybe watched the previous videos, and Mama Ann, those people were chosen. And who chose these people? It's not us. It's not you. It's not. It's God. So it's just God that directs us. Go here, help this person. Go to Muchebe village. You remember the village you did a party for the children? Go there, do that. We have so many people around who are suffering than these people. Around, very many. But why are we directed here? To people even we don't know. Let's take for example, Mama Baraka. Let's take again for example, Mama Fred. Mama Fred, she also has a son called Baraka, the firstborn. Like Mama Fred. I told you the other time how she was chosen. In fact, it was even up to date. That lady does not understand what exactly is happening. The house is roofed. Soon, fellow the boy has already contracted the person that are going to make the doors and the windows. From there, we shall plaster. I don't know whether we are going to do the piping for the electrification. I don't know whether we're going to do the piping for the toilet. If we do those, then those are things that lady has never. In fact, if you ask her about a toilet that you sit on top, she does not know anything like that. Isn't that God? That is God. God chose her through the rock. You remember the rock? Through the rock, God chose her. So to this family, because God chose them, God touched you, God gave you the feeling for them, God gave you the love for them. You transformed them. You uplifted them. The boys are having a bed. 2. In fact, it's a bunker bed, right? The low and the upper one. Those beds are not... Okay, the mother was given money by you people. She bought a mattress. You also sent money. They bought another mattress. You also sent money. They bought 2 duvets. You also sent money. They got school fees. Sent money. They have a table. They have a house. You sent rent. You know when I talk about you sent rent, the people that sent plus the people who are watching, the people who are praying for them. You did good. You saw them. God chose them, touched you, you blessed them. Now, can you tell me, what is the reason that you will not be blessed? You are making a child that has been sleeping on a mat, down on a floor that is not cemented, dusty floor, to be sleeping today on a mattress, on a bed, with a duvet. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, you know? That's how God works. That's the reason why I love God, you know? That's the reason why I love God. Because He works in mysterious manners. He works in ways that human being can never comprehend. Now, why am I saying that? Did you people plan in your pocket or in your savings that one day you will send Mama Baraka some funds? Did you plan in your finances that one day you'll send a certain woman in Hispania some help? You never knew that woman existed. But here we are. Here we are. You did it because God chose her. So, today in my video, I wanted just to tell you that you have done a lot, you guys, to these people. And you're still doing. Because I remember the other time I was talking to Mama Baraka and she was saying, oh, school fees. Who knows? One of you may decide at how much is the school fees. And you send. Because you have bought them the school uniform. You have bought them some food. You have bought them the rest of the things I've talked about, the school fees. But you know what? When I look at that woman, the Mama Baraka, sometimes I fail to understand her because have you ever seen an industrious woman? Like now, I was coming. She told me to come, but she has gone to bring charcoal. Jude, today is when the lady has gone to bring the charcoal for the money you sent her. So we're just praying for her that she goes safely because they cross the border. They go to the other side of Tanzania. They go deep. They get the charcoal at a cheaper price, 3,500 plus big sack. You know, you have a big sack that when I stand, we are the same height. A big sack that when it's tied on a motorbike, they have to put also some red colors behind of it. They show that this is a wide load. May God give her safe journey, traveling mercy. She go get the commodity, the goods. She come back safely. She start the business. I'm just seeing that woman in by the end of this year, that woman will be having a history to give. Because I'm sure with her industrious manner, she'll be somewhere very nice, somewhere very cool, somewhere doing good business. Because the other time I was helping her to put the curtain, she said that she's going to look for a certain house to rent. In fact, she called me that she has got one. Yesterday as we were talking, she told me she got one for 1,000, a room for 1,000, where she'll be storing her bananas, where she's storing her charcoals, and maybe if she had other commodities that she'll put inside to sell, she'll be storing. Isn't that someone who is business oriented, serious? Now you found her on a highway trying to climb a hill. The new people made it easier for her to climb the hill. Don't you think when she find a very flat land, she'll go at a very good speed? That when she find another high slopey, she'll just fly. Thank you so much. You know, it's just an honor that it's a privilege that you people chose these people, and you're having the heart of giving. Yeah, wherever you just go wrong, I, fellow the boy, Otenga, we might just irritate you. You know, we are human being, right? We are human being. You might want that. You people, I want to send you money. You buy this. Sometimes we play tough-headed because we are on the ground. We say, no, let's buy this because this is what is needed. We offend you. We must have offended you in a way. You're a human being. We meant for errors. Just forgive us. As you help these people, as you move together to help the community, please, you just find a part in your heart. You forgive us and we move on. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. Thank you so much for sleeping sleepless nights, thinking about people here. People that do not even know you. Some of you have children that you already are raising in school. You're paying their school fees. You're paying their upkeep. You are giving them everything they need. I'm just saying thank you. And I wish the entire world was just like that. This could be a heaven on earth. And my sincere gratitude to find you wherever you are. So I wanted just today we take a little break. I've given a little bit of my family, how God can choose you, how God can just select you, how God has just selected these families that you people are helping. It's not you that you chose them. Yes, you chose them through us, but it is God who worked through you to accept them. God can choose you, whichever situation you're having, whatever difficulties you're going through, just trust God. I have one friend of mine in Canada, yeah? Very good lady, very good mom. She keeps on encouraging me. Last time she was telling me that do not despair. You can do it. You can make it. I agree. In God, nothing is possible. No matter situation, no matter any problem you're going through, just put God first. And let God hold you. Let God hold you. Don't hold God. Let God hold you. There's a difference in those two. Let me explain the difference as I went this. When you hold God, you'll hold and you feel tired. You let go. Are you getting that? But if God holds you, God holds you. It's like a father. If God is a father, he holds a child. You don't let the hand of a child. When I hold my children's hand, I don't let them go. So let God hold you. And you'll never regret. Because he will never, mark the word, never in capital, let you go. Have a blessed Sunday. Have an enjoyable one. Just please God in whatever you do. Have a fulfilled weekend. As we meet on Monday again to start this day, start the activities we are having, just be blessed. Pass my greetings to your family. Pass my greeting to your friends. Share our links. Share our videos. Ask your friends to watch them. Ask your friends to support us by watching those ads, by clicking likes, by doing anything, commenting, giving the opinions, and we really appreciate. From my side, I love you all. I don't love you more than God. God loves you more. But from my heart, I love you all. For watching my video, for commenting, for doing anything, for sharing my links. You're moving this guy, Zach Discovery, to 5,000 subscription. Hidesta, wherever you are, I know. You remember this? Thank you so much. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget you all. We love you. Bye-bye.